Welcome to the Public Financial Disclosure Quick Start Guide. If you are watching this video, you have probably been assigned the review of a Public Financial Disclosure Report, otherwise known as an OGE Form 278E, for the first time. In this short video, we'll briefly explain the purpose of Public Financial Disclosure Reports, who files Public Financial Disclosure Reports, what they report, and when they need to file. We'll then briefly describe the resources that can help you with the review, the process for reviewing OGE Forms 278, and what to do if you uncover report entries that may require action by your agency or the filer. Finally, we'll share with you some courses that can help you move from a novice OGE Form 278 reviewer to a confident and competent reviewer of these reports. So what is the purpose of the Public Financial Disclosure System? The system was first created by the Ethics in Government Act of 1978 in the wake of a number of scandals during the 1970s. It had then, and has now, two primary purposes. Number one, to allow agencies to help senior employees avoid conflicts of interest. And number two, to provide the public with a view into the financial holdings of their most senior government leaders. A conflict of interest occurs when a federal employee takes government action on a government matter that could affect her own financial interests, or the financial interests of certain family members, or those with whom she is financially associated, like an employer or business partner. To put it another way, it is when there is a nexus between the financial interests of an employee and the work of the employee. So the first purpose of the system is to help ensure employees do not work on matters that pose potential conflicts of interest. If conflicts of interest is a new concept to you, you need to look at the ethics laws and regulations, particularly the criminal conflict of interest laws in Title 18, Sections 203 through 209, particularly 208. The Legal Geography Quick Start Guide, linked below, is a good starting point. The second purpose of the system is fulfilled when a report is filed completely. The Ethics in Government Act and its implementing regulations require very specific information to be disclosed on the report, and require that agencies make these reports available when properly requested by members of the public. So the system is working when agencies are using these reports to prevent conflicts of interest from becoming actual conflicts, and when they are ensuring that all required information is disclosed and the reports are properly being made publicly available. So who files these reports? There are approximately 26,000 public financial disclosure filers in the executive branch, comprising primarily agency executives. Essentially, anyone above the general schedule is required to file. This includes career and non-career senior executive service officials, all the way up to the president and vice president. You can learn more by reading OGE regulations at 5 CFR 2634. So what do employees report on the OGE Form 278? They report their financial holdings like stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, the holdings of retirement accounts, sources of outside income, outside employment, and other positions, some debts, and certain gifts. They also report the financial and business holdings and arrangements of close family members. I encourage you to read carefully the instructions on the OGE Form 278 to become familiar with what needs to be reported. And again, because disclosure is required by law, these reports must be made publicly available, so it is vital to ensure that all required information is included on the form. So when does an employee file an OGE Form 278? An employee must file an OGE Form 278 within 30 days of entering a position designated by law as requiring an OGE Form 278. They must also file annually thereafter on May 15th, and they must file periodic transaction reports using OGE Forms 278T for qualifying transactions. And finally, they must complete the OGE Form 278 upon termination from a filing position. Now let's talk about reviewing OGE Forms 278. Now that we know a little bit about the Public Financial Disclosure System and its purposes, let's look at your role, the role of the ethics official who reviews and certifies OGE Forms 278. Earlier, we discussed the purpose of public financial disclosure. The first, to prevent conflicts of interest. And we remember that a potential conflict of interest occurs when there is a nexus between the duties of a federal employee and their financial holdings or relationships. So to review a report for conflicts of interest, we need two pieces of information: the financial holdings and relationships of the employee, as reported on the OGE Form 278, and the duties and responsibilities of the employee filing the report. If you aren't familiar with the duties and responsibilities of the employee filing the report, you must have that information before you can properly review and certify a report. Some sources of that information may include formal position descriptions, documents outlining planned work, and conversations with the employee or employee supervisor. Once you know what your filer's duties and responsibilities are, and you have a completed OGE Form 278, we're almost ready to begin the review for conflicts of interest. We also need to be familiar with an important set of resources to help us in our conflicts review. The Analyzing Potential Conflicts of Interest collection is the primary resource we will consult to conduct our conflicts review. To find it, we need to begin on OGE's website, then navigate to Resources for Ethics Officials, then to Conflicts Analysis and Resolution, and then scroll down to the Analyzing Potential Conflicts of Interest collection. So what about our second objective, ensuring complete and accurate reporting? We have a dedicated resource for that as well. The Public Financial Disclosure Guide is the most comprehensive resource we have for ensuring complete reporting. To find it, again, starting from OGE's homepage, we navigate to Resources for Ethics Officials, this time to Financial Disclosure, then scroll down to the Public Financial Disclosure Resources section, and under Guidance we find the Public Financial Disclosure Guide. This document contains helpful information for filers that reviewers can also use to ensure complete reporting on all portions of the OGE Form 278E. It also contains an entire section for ethics officials. The section contains valuable information for managing a financial disclosure program, reviewing various kinds of reports, and links to other resources like the Conflicts Analysis and Resolution collection we looked at earlier. So now we know about our two goals, preventing conflicts of interest and ensuring complete and accurate reporting. And we have two resources to help us, the Analyzing Conflicts of Interest collection and the Public Financial Disclosure Guide. Next, we need two questions to help us start the review process. One, is the entry completely and accurately reported? And two, does this entry pose a potential conflict of interest? These two questions can help us meet the dual goals of public financial disclosure. Finally, we have two outputs of our financial disclosure review. One, a complete and accurate OGE Form 278, and two, an advice document detailing steps the filer will take to avoid conflicts of interest, like an ethics agreement. The first is relatively self-explanatory and legally required. Before we certify a report, we must be sure that the report is a complete and accurate disclosure as required by the Ethics in Government Act. The second is also necessary. When we certify a report, we are certifying that the filer is in compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. If there are steps necessary to ensure the filer is in compliance with all applicable laws and regulations, we must ensure those are taken before certification. This could take the form of an ethics agreement, which is required for Senate-confirmed presidential appointments, or an advice memo or email or other counseling document for other filers. These documents may require a filer to sell certain assets, resign from outside positions, agree not to participate in certain government matters, or to take other steps required to comply with the ethics laws. Together, this 2-2-2-2 framework is the foundation of public financial disclosure review. But it is certainly not everything we need to know. You should be conversant in all of the ethics laws and regulations, as well as familiar with the reporting requirements listed on the form itself, in the Ethics in Government Act and in OGE regulations. You may also need facility with the Integrity Electronic Filing System, or another system if your agency does not use Integrity. Fortunately, OGE has a wealth of resources to help you continue your learning journey. From the public financial disclosure courses of study to individual lectures on particular laws and reporting requirements. We have linked some good next steps on the page below. If you are new to the rules, the Legal Geography Quick Start Guide linked below is a great starting point. So welcome to Public Financial Disclosure Review, and good luck on your continued professional development.